mistakes, found our haven in these gates, a world away, a different fate. But here we found our golden dream, my American wife, my roots and home. Return to the Philippines, my heart, my family, my home. Filipino life, a happy sight, sunshine days and starry night. George and Heidi, hand in hand, living dreams in this beautiful land. Land of 10,000 YouTubers, retirees all around. We're all here, we're all here, we're all here. Sharing stories, exploring islands, mountains high, underneath the endless sky. Filipino life, a happy sight, sunshine days and starry night. Maybe I just wanna be famous, maybe I just wanna be famous. Philippine Antics, I just wanna be famous. Maybe I just wanna be famous. Philippine Antics, maybe I just wanna be. I'm here to stay, haters wanna hate, but it's all the same. I'm on top, man, better remember the name. From the city's hustle of Angeles City to the beach of sand in Subic Bay, we found our peace in this wonderful land. We are Philippine Antics. Filipino life, a happy sight, sunshine days and starry night. Maybe I just wanna be famous, maybe I just wanna be famous. Philippine Antics, maybe I just wanna be. Maybe I just wanna be famous. Philippine Antics, maybe I just wanna be. Filipino life.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, guys. How are you? I thought I would start this live stream early. One, because the boss isn't here and he is officially sleeping, and because I can. So, I was going to run a live stream yesterday in regards to the possible impact of the federal funds that are being frozen right now. And then Trump just went live this morning and he was telling people it's like he kind of discussed it, but then didn't, and then announced that new bill. Um, and so I want to discuss this today because he put the aid on hold for quite a few countries and then only chose a few countries. And this is going to affect a lot of people in one form or another, even with it being on hold, as I'm to understand. He said, what, 90 days? So this is going to be a discussion today. And I was just reading an article this morning. It said, according to partial reports, 2024, the United States distributed at least 190 million in foreign assistance for the economic development and health to the Philippines. Okay, over 95% of that, according to the State Department, was foreign assistance. The tracker was managed by the U.S. Agency of International Development, or USAID. Isn't that USAID? Wasn't that all over them canisters when we were kids and we used to get the government peanut butter and the government cheese? Didn't it say USA? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I told you who I am, babe. I was I was like an original there, dipping the cheese in the peanut butter crap, and it's like, okay. So no, I think it did. I think all those government products and stuff were marked the same thing. So the United States does give a lot of money to the Philippines, and it gives a lot of money to a lot of countries. And really, until I got into social media, I really did. I would pick up a newspaper here and there. I was just busy working, raising my family, visiting my family, hanging with friends. So I wasn't really up all into it until now. It's like, huh. Now, according to sources, they said they're not touching Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. But this discussion today, I want to get into because I can't read every newspaper and all that. So it is a group discussion um, based on, isn't that going to affect like everything? Veterans checks, all of that, disability checks for the veterans. They said Social Security, but like we get that it may not happen. Or he said also something about that this is to go through and check on what's going on, like as far as like fraud and things going on within the government. No, not our government. What government? All government, um, no matter what country. But there was also a talk about the federal employees. Hey, return back to work. They even thought he even said something about the employees probably even had other jobs, like they weren't even working their real job but collecting a check every month. And I'm like, yeah, so a lot going on. I can appreciate what he's doing. He's taking action. And that, he's doing something. Now, I do want to say on the other hand, I also realized something, and so did one or two other people, a lot of people. There's a law against kind of what he's doing. So, I'm not the one thing that I know is that once those funds are given through Congress, it's illegal to stop those funds that have already been given. So surely he knows the line. Maybe the freezing of the assets or something. Maybe he knows what he's doing by that, but he's not really not giving them. So they're saying right now it's against the Constitution and all that. I've just started briefly reading on this morning. So a lot of people are up in arms. I think some of the funny stuff, and hey, you got to laugh at it somewhere. There's these young babies crying. I'm talking about like 30-year-old women talking about, oh, I got my $2,000 in food stamps. It's going to get cut, and this is happening, and there goes my WIC. And it showed some woman on social media yesterday on TikTok, like totally broken down. You know, uh, I mean, totally like wigging out over her WIC and stuff. And I get it because when you work hard, I got WIC for my children. So I was working, still qualified. And yes, that extra cereal, cheese, peanut butter, all these items actually do count. But in this day and age, they're taking it to social media. And there's been a ton of them actually with like crying in front of people. And in the meanwhile, they're making money, which I think is kind of weird because some of these accounts, they're actually making a bunch of money. And it's, use that for the cheese and stuff situation. But all right, so that's what the conversation is. Sound check, please, to let me know. I the mic check, my mic check. Um, I'm probably going to be switching out my mic. It'll probably be a few months because I have immigration up and coming, and I'm probably going to be spending quite a bit to get that processed. And the reason being is that I still think I have to take a trip to go get my what's it called, background check. I've had it done like 3 times here in Angel City, but they're with the new immigration, they need everybody's full home print, and I still believe it's only going to be in Manila, so I have to hire in a private driver for that, and I may have to process through a facility versus just doing it myself this year. Why? Because it's easier. And the other part is with my disability and the ability to get in and out. Every time I leave the house like multiple times, then I end up with something like I've had like some sort of flu bug for ever since I left that facility. So, anyways, back to the microphone. I'll get a new mic because I know that when I get close or far away, it's been cutting out. And I think I had this one for about 2 years. It was an inexpensive one to be doing. So, immigration is going to take up funds. So, it probably won't even be till near my birthday month till I actually get it done, guys. So I do have a bunch of things that I will go over as far as the funds. I want to hear from you guys on that. 180 million is a lot of money. It says the programs for the Philippines, it covers a wide range of projects from the anti-trafficking efforts to humanitarian aid. It's covered a barrage of typhoons. Hey, what time is it? It's coffee time, education, health, solar power. I would like some solar power, please. I just didn't. I mean, I had an ideal that the U.S. government gave a lot of money to foreign countries, but I didn't know how. And then there's like, you know what? I'm gonna be strutting around the Philippines here the next couple of weeks and said, "You should have been nice. You should have been nice. Should have been nice." you know, because I feel the Americans are getting a bad rap here, left and right here in the Philippines. You guys can deny expats, you can deny it all you want, but most of the time, you get this from the other expats and some Filipinos, and it's like, dude, it's like I'm not even them. You blaming me for this issue and that issue and everybody's issue, and it's like, dude, it's like so I'm just gonna walk around with an attitude for a while. I can appreciate. I was watching Sunshine this morning, Sunshine Shoulders, and he said that his. How did he put that this morning? Here, let me pop that up. He's talking about his foreigner card, talking about his foreigner card and everything. There's a limits. There's limits to how much you can deal with here in the Philippines because like 98% of this, most of us Americans wouldn't have dealt with in all other countries and our own country. And you're in a foreign country, you have to behave, and I get it and all that. But there are limits, and I'd have had my limit if somebody would have rode their motorcycle on the back of George or something, or it'd have been vice versa if somebody would have rolled up, and they've done that. We've almost had our mirrors knocked off the car several times. People cut us off. They a lot of like unsafe things actually happen, but it's like George is like me. It's like three, four, five, six times you can deal with something, and then after a while, it's just like, hey, dude, it's like wake up. But I'm just joking, just kidding about you should have been nice to me. Which, by the way, that seems like a nice song. Maybe time for a new song, huh, guys? You should have been nice to me. But I get it. Can anybody name the countries that Trump said that will not be affected by the aid that there was going to, not the freeze? Like, I guess he's cutting off a lot of countries. I believe Turkey was one of them. And can anybody tell me why? I've been trying to get George to talk to me this morning in regards to, like, if he was here, he would totally break it down. Maybe he can join us later. Like, this is why this country and that country, because I'll say, George, wake up, George, wake up. And I said, why? And George said, I'll explain to you tomorrow. And George's like, I'm sleeping. I was like, you got nothing to do right now. And so, but no, there's got to be a reason why, such as Turkey. And because you would think the Philippines is really important, but I had no idea the amount of money. And I'll get in here in a little bit and say my hellos. Okay, so this blows my mind. There'll be a 90-day review to ensure that foreign aid allocation with the administration of foreign policy is being allotted right. And the reason I heard President Trump say this morning that he was discussing. Oh, here it is. $45 million is being sent to Burma for the diverse equity, whatever. Isn't that like for all those like odd groups for scholarships? Could they not put $45 million into something else in the U.S. or so? It looks like the other one was 40 million to the World Health Organization. So they were giving more to Burma in scholarships, okay, than they were the WHO. And then he said the WHO was just a total hoot, right? So there was another one. I think he said, what was it, Gaza? Was it another Middle Eastern country? It was based on prophylactics or something. And they said they were turning him into something else. And I can't say that on air. So, anyways, craziness, guys, craziness. By the way, some days I may go earlier on the live streams just based on just getting done sooner. That's because we have something that we'll be doing later today. So that way, if this goes into the third hour, we can continue. So it's on. So it says last year under the U.S. previous administration, they pledged $500 million in new funding to the Philippines. Okay, and that's for the military and the Coast Guard. So again, I didn't know $500 million was being sent over here to still help with the military. I get the, like George, if he was here, he'd be like, "Oh God, well, we need that, and we need friends and whatever." But you have guys have no idea how many live streams, articles, and others that are covering, like, "Oh my God, they're taking our funding, and oh, they need us," and all this situation. Of course, it's going to be talked about in social media. So it says here that approximately 29 billion, including 128 million, embarked infrastructures projects under the defense cooperation, blah blah blah, between the two nations. So, well, that's how many pesos? It's 29 billion pesos is what that equals out to. It's supposed to go for all of that. Um, so I meant to say pesos on it. Okay, so the U.S. is the largest single aid donor globally, giving out 72 billion to the world. Okay, that's a lot, guys. Yeah, just like one Bitcoin, please. Thank you. Um, this amount supports more than 20,000 activities in at least 209 countries. I can tell you one country that's probably not getting any money. Meanwhile, 2024 showed that the U.S. dispersed foreign aid to the amount of about 41 billion. It's a lot. And here in the Philippines, it currently, or wait a minute, not in the Philippines, it says the U.S. foreign assistance, sorry, covers such things as agriculture, economic growth, global health, conflict prevention. I just like one Bitcoin to keep me from beating George up today. Conflict, education, humanitarian assistance, water, sanitation, democracy, human rights, environmental energy, infrastructure. Here's my deal. Why is it if we're giving so much money to the Philippines, they're not like really improving the infrastructure? I'd fight somebody all day long to say why, why. I think they've actually said how much money that they've given. Okay, so please explain to me why. In the Philippines, for the last 64 years that the United States has given money, okay, that they have actually given, it says how much exactly they've given. 2.81 billion from 2001 to 2023. That's US dollars. So I'm assuming, you guys couldn't map me out all of Angeles City, including Clark, that's worth 20 or 2.8 billion. I could be exaggerating. But it's insane. It says that the U.S. has given over $5 billion total since they started giving the money out to the Philippines. Maybe I'm not aware of what things cost. Maybe I'm not aware. I'm thinking the first thing I'd be dealing with is the electric and water and stuff for the people. I seen a barangay official along with a bigger government official that was giving out water on his birthday. Like he had a water truck going through the area handing out, people were running up with jugs and filling it up. And I said, that's sad. In Angeles City, in the area. What I call Angel City, Dow, Mabalacat, some of these other, it was just sad. So I'm thinking $5 billion, where's it all going to? What does that equal to? Hey Siri, what is 5 billion times 58?
5 billion times 58 is 290 billion.
So, and that I get that the rate exchange. So let's just say it's 250 billion pesos or 250 billion pesos. I want to give you an idea that if I built the house we're living in right now, it costs us 2.5 million pesos. So, there had to be. Is this? I mean, I guess I had to be here like a long time ago to understand TJ Riley, the lining of the pockets, corrupt government officials. And that's what I was actually, in discussion, because they said the same thing with all the aid that's being given. So supposedly Donald Trump is going to clean house inside the country and outside the country. I can appreciate that. Um, I would say it's because he's already rich and he's like, he can't be bought. Maybe he's so narcissistic or so like out there that, hey, he's going to be like Kanye West is like, I'm going to get it done situation, that he's just way out there and he can't be bought. Or then again, I think he's making money other ways already from the AI deals and all this other stuff that's going on. But today, again, big conversation because, you know, I guess you would call me somewhat of an independent. It's like I don't fall under any of the above. I'm just kind of like, they call it media blind, but just this is insane. Those that live in the Philippines would say, dude, they didn't even spend $100 in this area. I mean, like for real, you're gonna be like, what? So I don't get it. I don't, and I was like so ticked this morning. I just seen a house, and I get this. Say Koreatown here in Angeles City is an okay place. They got a place for 80,000 pesos. I was like, bite me, man. Bite me. By the way, there's new mugs that I'll be bringing around probably Saturday or Tuesday. I have them right now. I'm drinking cold coffee this morning, so making my own mix. Um, but I was like, no way, 80,000 pesos. And it was the same like my house. Like it's kind of like the narrow, long ones. And I think it only had the 2 bedroom, 2 baths. Because it had a few fancy tables in it and fancy track lighting that was done for about $1. I'm like, no, like no freaking way. And they show like the outside and the infrastructure's all broke down. And I'm like, yeah, no, you can't do that to me. You can't get me to pay 80,000 pesos. No way. I mean, maybe a rich Korean that wants to move in and pay for something. Oh, this is nice. Oh, hell no. You got me all tricked out today, man. You got the right one over 80,000 pesos. Like, I'll stay here and pay my 10,000 pesos. Thank you very much. And I'll deal with the trike drivers across the street or whatever's going on. Thank you so much, trader. Thank you so much, FX trader. So that's what's up on the table. I got it up out of the way, and we will go in and start doing comments and discussion now. So be sure to comment and let me know. Oh, I do not even have my tablet. Usually I have my tablet. Did you guys tell me how the audio was? I just want to be famous. I just want to be famous. And looks like all deliveries are off today. There's going to be deliveries, but they should come after a certain time. If not, all right. Good morning, MB. Smile and be happy. And by the way, I hope you guys could appreciate my older photo there. That's supposed to be like what they call it, a progressive aging of me, what I look like at like 75. And the pretty scary part is that's somewhere between both my grandmother and both on both sides, my mom's and dad's side of the family. And like it's like really scary. So guys, if you haven't subscribed, be sure, if you guys can hear me, if you guys have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and be sure to do a thumbs up on this and consider membership. Membership has its privileges, reach out contacts, and it helps support the channel, helps keep the lights on here at headquarters, and helps like when we do the extra outings and George's funeral fund, pet funds. We do give to only one shelter and one organization here, and that's Noah's Ark. Uh, it's a pet shelter. It's a cat and dog shelter where she's grown so much in the last 4 years. It's really like the first time, if you guys go look at our videos, you can see where we did drone shots and stuff. She's had so much built since there and so much help. So we appreciate the viewers that have reached out to her. So we give a percentage of our YouTube and stickers every month to this organization, and they're vetted and everything. We don't, like take money on their behalf. People have gone directly there. We just give off of our things. So many things happen when you guys support this channel, but just watching is much appreciated. So actually, not really. Just more. Oh, snap! Wait a minute. No wonder I'm not like perky this morning. Perky. I'm gonna just have to be just me this morning. Yeah, there it is. I have a B12 um, pill that I take. So I did not take it this morning, and it's got that. I don't even know how you say that, L-therazine or therine or something. And I got these online today. Well, actually, yesterday I just opened it up today. They're a advanced once a day daily multivitamins. It's formulated for like bariatric surgeries, people who have had stomach surgeries and everything. It's got everything in it. That's another problem I deal with on top of everything else is, yes, I had the bariatric weight loss surgery, and this was done a long time ago, probably, I don't know, gosh, it's got to be 20 plus years ago. And yeah, so yes, I lost substantial weight, but I probably put more than half the weight back on, but still maintain the rest. So, but then you can get Kirkland vitamins here delivered. So onward, Cindy G, you were the inspiration to come on early and say I stuck it to the man over there that's over there sleeping, and I'm like, you guys have no idea how many times I wanted to start the live early by 5 minutes. I said, go ahead and go live. George is going to go polar opposite if I had something like that. And it's like, we're down to like the last 2 minutes. And I'm like, we're just sitting here. I'm like, can we just go live? I'm telling you what, George is a stickler now. You guys think it's a joke, man. So I was like, he's not here. And boys, down, 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 down. Trump MAGA, baby. Daddy's home. Like I said, I'm pretty much independent. I'm about anybody getting anything done because you guys have no idea, although I'm a big older woman with medical problems, you can't keep me down. I could be like nubs, like David Campbell, man, and I could be out there. I don't care. I'm going to be scraping nubs to get stuff done. I cannot sit still. I'm about getting something done, but I am very, very, very concerned at this point with a lot of programs being cut because I had a list of some of the programs. I don't think I have it anymore. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, they claim is being saved, but there are others like Meals on Wheels. Could you imagine these people only getting one meal a day because all their money is going to pay their bills, and then that gets cut that they can't cook? I'm afraid to let George cook right now. you know, I may have to get on the trike and do Meals on Wheels just to deliver something to George just to keep him out of the kitchen. But no, joking aside, that would be a horrible program. Again, there is something or is illegal. If them funds have already been allotted, then they can't stop that. Now, I don't know how the next round and how the rest of the Congress and all that stuff works. When they had them Saturday morning cartoons and they were, I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill, and I'm trying to watch it and it's like, are they going to bring Scooby Doo back? It's like, I was like ready to play. So here I am again. Doesn't take long. I'm already getting the itchies, but yeah, I'm like, so it's not the only time that I got some learning, but overall, it's um, make America great again. They said also the Kennedy guys in the middle of a congressional hearing, and it's like make America healthy again. It's the uh, golden age of America. I don't know, guys. I really think that the safety net of the Philippines. I wish I had like a diaper wipe. I have like these wipes. They're just plain ones that we use to wipe down the cats and their faces and their eye burgers in the morning. But I digress. The for something like that, it's it's going to affect the entire country, and all those programs that they could cut, or the federal funding and the money around the world. It just means the world is actually going to get smaller, and it's going to get harder to live in. And they were talking about, and I don't know if you guys were know anything about the doomsday clock that they were talking about. 2025, it's getting closer, and the dealing with global catastrophe. And they're saying after the Cold War, there was 17 minutes to midnight, is what they call it. Okay, 17 minutes. You guys realize in 2024 they said it was 90 seconds to midnight, and they said after Trump became president, it moved even closer. And so I get it. I mean, think about it. I was listening to a major podcast yesterday, and their wordings were exact that, okay, so Colombia gave in. You can trust and believe Colombia and Mexico is making plans. You can only push somebody so far. And if he goes around and does this to all the countries and takes away the money, and the people are on top of the government, and the people are out there acting a fool and all that, or just somebody that won't deal with it, there could be a lot of problems too. I think what Trump's trying to do now is show the world he's in charge. So by telling his employees to come back, or hit the road, if you don't make this decision in 7 or 8 days, your jobs are gone if you don't come back. I get it. Make them do it. They're being lazy. Get rid of them, right? I agree with a lot of situations, but too much may be enough, and there's going to be consequences. I can't be the only one that's thinking there's going to be issues. I get the cleaning house situation, and I'm telling you, yeah, they're taking back their illegals, and the I don't know. There's a limit. Cut off all the money to everybody. Maybe it shouldn't have been done for so long to begin with, and maybe it won't come back. But isn't there going to be consequences on top of it? I don't know. I'm sure they're regrouping. I'm sure they'll be regrouping. They probably got little henchmen inside of the Who. Why you kidding? Hey, good morning. I bought a Home Depot shirt yesterday. You know what I did yesterday? I bought some Jolly Bee chicken, because I was like, here's the thing. Since January, oh, snap, it's still January. Okay, so what's it been now? It's been, it's been, it's been 30 days. Um, I cut back on some of the sugar, and like ordering fast food, or like where we were eating out a lot more, and cut out like on all the salt, like all the processed food went up out of the house, right? Yesterday I was like, dang it, man. And I was like, we're ordering Jollibee. And so we got Jollibee and some of the peach pies. I'm like, George's like, yeah, we gotta live a little. So poor George just eating like nuts, and we've been like, I mean, we still indulge. Don't get me wrong, you've seen me eat like the panda cell and the cocoa panda and everything, but I get that. That. Good morning, learning to live, and a big shout out to Expat-Tainment Philippines. That is our other channel that I'm dropping. Me as a Philippine expat, female American, and going to start putting more expat help stuff. You will see videos with George, okay? And the same with here. He's got a Ricky video. I'm still on top of him. He's still editing it. And you'll see things on this channel too, but mostly it's live stream. So big shout out to the others that are watching on this. For now, it'll be dual broadcasting for a little bit. We're working on that. So yeah, screw work at home culture. Workers unions be damned, right? America first, baby. I'm gonna be strutting around here, man. Stroke man, stroke, stroke. And there, just like that, there went Heidi's 13A. I've seen that woman. How? How did you see me? How did you see me on the street? And George is like, they see you, man. You like Godzilla, man. Man, did I tell you guys, for those that know us long term, the crap George used to give me in the beginning during the pandemic? when there were only so many expats. They were here, but a lot of them were locked out of the country or they were like physically locked down because over a certain age they were supposed to stay at home here. And that was quite a few of them, by the way. And it's like when I went out and about, it's like George is like, I was like, did you see me over there? Blah, blah. He goes, how could I miss you? He goes, I could see you all the way down MacArthur Highway. They can see you through the buildings and everything else. You're like Godzilla and stuff, your height and your size and how much I glow white and stuff, like the green glow off of Godzilla. Good morning, pause. No, we don't. We rarely, or I rarely, get into politics. But this is Trump's squirreliness over the federal funds, how it's going to impact elderly benefits, the Philippine AIDS, how it's going to affect people, and it is a lot of the programs here, including the AIDS and diseases, and all that will be affected. Here's my deal: I don't think a lot of the money is really going to these programs. We have a health building in our subdivision. Okay. And guys, the infrastructure is not very good on it, and there's not a whole lot going on in there. So I'm not seeing where federal government money even went into this. To be honest, I think I don't even. It just makes you wonder where all the money is really gone. I'm here and I'm calling it out. So if you guys don't hear from me 3 times a week, at least call in the troops, any troops. So no, we don't. No. No, actually, I mean, we've talked about Joe Biden and just in general, if it was dealing with what was going on or it was a topic of conversation during the live streams. But here's the thing: I seen a meme and a thing on TikTok, and it had like some rap music, and it was like Biden, like I told y'all. And it's like I thought he was taking a nap, man. Thanks, Cindy. Okay, so it was Gaza. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And I mean, are they just sending a check over and depositing it or something? It's like, go ahead and buy the extra small, please. And it's like, who knows? I doubt they even had to turn those into weapons or whatever they actually did. I'm sure they just directly bought it. And it's like, I don't get it. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't know. It sounds like a deal that if I was president, I would probably consider. I mean, it on paper, I'm sure it looks good or saying it out loud, but then I'm sure he's thinking, "Oh, Meals on Wheels? Oh, you can't do that." And so I guess you don't, or maybe he does and he doesn't care. The president may not even. And so now the consensus is the president. The people that voted him in, a lot of them are using these programs. And most recently this morning, all over the news for us, it's morning here in the Philippines, they were showing a guy where his wife was detained and it's their anniversary, a Hispanic guy, and the deportee situation going on. And he was like, she's not even a criminal. I thought they weren't going to touch criminals. I voted for you, Trump. And then it's like, did the president say that it's only going to be criminals that he's deporting? I thought it was anybody that came over that border illegally. I don't know, but now they're saying he's going back on his word. And I was like, well, I didn't realize it was only going to be criminals. So they're saying that now they're profiling everybody brown, which means I'm safe, I guess. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not there. So, anyways, that joke, char. Uh, George would not be safe. I'd probably have to tuck George away because he looks like everybody. Like you go to a Korean store, George just stays quiet, and I get my discount. Go to the Chinese store, silence. I get my discount. Fit in where you get in situation. And no, so anyways, they said they're like profiling Native Americans and everything. So, uh, right? Americans need to wear a Canadian shirt or other countries because they're going to be in danger all over the world. That's, you know what? I think some of them would be like what I was saying. They're just going to strut at some point, like be nice to me. But you know what? I believe that. I believe the kidnappings and the attacks will just go up from here. And I already feel like people have an issue with us. Now, with him doing that, it's like that's probably the only thing that really did keep us partially safe was giving these things. But who knows? I mean, it's the politicians that have been stuffing their pockets. I hear you, Disney box. The country is broke and they have to do a complete review of the budget. No, that is absolutely true. That is true. And a lot of money is being given out. And now with this AI war, I mean, you guys realize how serious AI is? I will be not investing, I'll be paying attention and getting more into how it's really going to change things. Like they're saying 20 million jobs will disappear here. And I'm like, that's really going to be rough. And this AI thing is like totally out of control too. They're saying China released that new app, and I wouldn't almost call it deep fake, but let me take a look. Deep seek. Here's the thing that's not even a joke right now because they're genius. It's making everybody rethink their stocks on AI and all this and chipsets and all these things because they waited to actually let everybody else do the work. So it's kind of like the invention of, let's say, a roller brush that blow dries and does my hair and straightens it and it adds hair automatically. Let's say it's a new tech thing where I got a missing bald spot and it puts it on there and all that, does all this, hair coloring all at the same time. Like it's total new technology, right? Those that go through getting the patents and working on doing it and getting all the technology to get it done and all that, them are the guys that sink the money into it. It looks like that all these other guys that put all this money in and figuring all this out and all that, they just came through and just snaked everything. So they're going to get all their information off of their stuff and they're just going to come in and do it at a lower price. So it's kind of like the invention of other things like in fast food, and there's going to be something bigger, better, and whatever. So now everybody's like, wait a minute. So the stocks are dropping on AI. So that's just be aware. And because me and George have a very small, finite amount of money right now in the bank. And I said, well, let's take a couple thousand, which is nothing. I mean, I get it's just peanuts. I said, but we can start with something small. And George says, nope. He said, right now, he goes, it'd have been rough to begin with if we had a large amount. He goes, right now, there's going to be so much going on with that. So it's just like, so just keep an eye because I think it's really going to change things. It's going to be hard to trust things too. 198, yeah, million to the Philippines. Yeah, that article, I believe, that was direct from multiple sites that I was reading from. Google Bear, did you take my phone? It's right here, 198 million. Good morning, Timothy from Columbus, Ohio. You know what I seen this morning? Again, something always new, and I got the eyes of a baby here. I did not know that J.D. Vance was the book writer to that Hillbilly Elegy, and I did not know he was from Ohio. Go figure that. That I did not know that he was one of those people that, had like all the way at the bottom and came all the way up. I did not know that was his story. And to look at him, it came into my feed an 7-8 year old article or video, I believe it was from ABC, where they totally did an interview. Totally different guy. He's lost some weight and looks totally different now. I mean, he looks like a baby without his beard and everything, but I had no idea he was a Buckeye. So very interesting. Because he definitely, I don't even think he was even governor. Or was he governor or something? Accountability for where the money went to help the Philippines. I think so. Because now you see all these newspapers and these other Filipinos talking about, oh, they can't do that to us. And, we've done this and done that and all this stuff, like all those other movements of you owe me this and you owe me that. Come on. It does need to be America first, even if they cut a bunch of programs. And it's been said, remember when I said they need to start with the free Social Security and they need to start with the children being covered that had never. I mean, there are people. There's multi-generational families that have been on like food stamps and assistance and getting Social Security for their kids that are born, and it's unreal that they haven't worked at all. So I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. It's just amazing. And it's like they need to start with all that and start going through the system. And some guy was like, oh, they're going to start, only 2 years on the, I guess they're messing with the Section 8 right now and the HUD and all that. They're like, oh, they're only going to allow them to live in there for 2 years. Yeah. Some people have been doing it for 20, 30 years. It's time to figure something out and put an age bracket on it because anything over the age, I believe, of 50 or 60, it's hard to get jobs and stuff. So they should leave the elderly alone. And who knows? There's got to be a whole new system, but I guess that's all got to go through a process of kind of crazy. Nobody knows where the money goes. I mean, does anybody in here agree or disagree that where is the money being put here in the Philippines? Because the infrastructure is absolutely horrible. The hospitals are absolutely. You guys could take that to the bank. I don't give a crap or shit what any other channel says. It's bad here. And I've been to Makati, I've been to BGC, and I would still not say that the infrastructure is so hot to trot over there either. Not to what they're actually like stating. I get it's nice, and you could say, "Oh, look at me, it's all fancy and stuff." But okay, this is where all the money went was to BGC. That's about the only thing that I can think about. But uh, there was a gentleman, the banana man, that helps the kids and feeds them down at the bridge. And the gentleman, the world's strongest man, is got the money now. They've saved it and did the GoFundMe's or collected money for him. Now they got the money. They don't have the blood supply. Yes, a major hospital, AU, does not have the blood supply in a major city here. Go figure. And I get that they'll say, oh, well, that has nothing to do with money. No, just the whole infrastructure set up and how things are done is totally like out there. It really is. So I just don't get it where all the money, all these, and maybe I just don't realize the cost of things. But until recently, it seemed like that prices shot up post pandemic. Before that, I get the trade versus the dollar, but they were being given American buckaroos. I mean, that's the big difference is that I don't get it. I don't get why they didn't get more into fixing the electric and where every Filipino was benefited, man. George for president. George for president. Not that I think that I can actually fix that or anything. Yes, good morning, Margaret. The U.S. needs to take care of their own people, like the homeless and the addicts and other resources who need it, like the UK helping other countries when their own people are struggling to survive. I agree. I agree. Now, I don't think it's going to change the addict thing and some of the homelessness because a lot, I'm not saying all of it is a choice. It was just a choice to do this over that, the rising prices. And so it's a combination. Um, they had a ton of facilities open to help the addicts, but then I've heard a bunch on that too. Like there was a system where they would go out and round people up and just bring them into facilities. They were running the bills up for it and then splitting money. I can't even more corruption going on in the back end on the facilities. So, but no, they definitely need to start at home for sure, and that's what it's going to take. But here's the thing: who's going down with them? Like, is it, how is it going to affect the elderly? And I do want to hear from you guys that are veterans. Is them federal funds that they're going to hold up? Because I didn't hear nothing about veteran disability checks. There's a ton of them here. They're going to do this and that to the federal employees, and there's got to be something in between because I've heard a whole bunch on that today. So, is it really going to affect? Yeah, there's a lot of disabled vets here. There are a lot. I hope the Philippines could keep the missile launchers that Biden admin deployed. Oh, I'm sure they're just not going to up and remove them. So our prime minister in Canada had a net worth 10 million when he started 9 years ago. It's reported that it's worth now 500 million. How does that happen on a 400? Correct. Investments, Bitcoin. No, all politicians. Just like Trump will make a ton of money out of this, guys. Who's the kid that? I mean, did anybody list the countries that they're going to hold? Turkey was one of them. What countries? Uh, there's specific countries that he's. I'm just saying he's making. They all do. Probably the only one I could think of that didn't, and he probably still did, was Jimmy Carter or Ronald Reagan. I mean, Jimmy Carter died the poorest president, and if he had the money, he'd have been out there. Unless he just passed it on to his family, and that's possible. He might have just been. Oh, don't even get me going. Okay, I like me some Selena Gomez because of Justin Bieber. Okay, and I like me some Justin Bieber. He's some nice eye candy. When I'm tired of looking, George is my eye candy. Then I'm looking at Justin Bieber. Um, that or Antonio Banderas. Or my real go to Marcos. So, but in general, I thought that was an overkill. I was going to do a video, and then I'm like, wait a minute. If I just do a reaction on any of the channels or TikTok or whatever, and I just go on about just that, her crying about it, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion. She had a bad day. That girl was the Oh, I woke the puppy up here. Sorry. It's like, wait a minute. My people, her dad was Mexican and her mother was Italian. They're calling her an American born Mexican. Well, they're calling her American Mexican. And she's second generation there or something. I get it. Her people, it's like, she sounded like a Vita and stuff. Don't cry for me, Mexico. It's like, why don't you bring your people over to your house and have your party? I don't know. It just, and I'm telling you, that breakdown was because something happened between her and her man. She didn't get her toes sucked that day. There was no discount on some shoes, or something else was going on, because where was she a couple years ago when they detained some of her people, or all this other stuff going on in Mexico, or all this other things? You realize your people are in there causing problems and taking items out of Walgreens and stuff. Where was you then about your people? So it just she was, and of course she removed that really quick, and then they were like, oh, okay. They said something about, oh, where's her PR press and blah blah blah, and they're like, she should have known better, and it was like, I was like, no, that was a PR move. Okay, she had a bad day, and the PR move was to remove it to look like she had cared, that she had put it on it. Oh please, honey. Oh please, honey. Like, uh, I need to clean these screens for real. All right, guys, I only see 17 thumbs up. I'm just gonna sit here and stare at you guys a while. So, here's the thing, FX Trader. I've done all the above, years in, years out, and I do. Um, for the most part, I am, um, but it's not easy either, because there's days that George isn't here, and it's me left to cook, and I do way more cooking now, and it's it's not that easy. And usually, I mean, are you on total low carb, and have you been? Ever since I was 17 years old, I've been on one form of a diet or another. And my mom was big, my grandmother was big, generations, health issues, autoimmune issues. And I get it. You can say the whole family didn't eat right or whatever. Yeah, but when your family, like your grandparents, was raised on a farm and still had all those issues, and they were getting real butter and real meat and all of that, and no carbs and no fast food back then, there were still issues. Okay, so um, I definitely appreciate the thing on the low carb, and that's been what I've been trying to do for the last month. But there's limits. There's limits for me, and I have multiple medical conditions. Okay, and it's not going to improve the other ones. I have multiple issues that cannot be fixed by diet, and so it's key. And then here's the other thing: when you get deep into this low carb thing, and I'm just eating vegetables and other things, you realize how tainted it is with other chemicals, even in the Philippines. How even those items are the there's always some issue for sure. But I get it because somebody's like, if I would just go and do the carnivore and do high protein and this and that my lupus would just go away no matter what. That's not true. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've tried months of just nothing but that. There were no carbs, no sugar, no salt, no all these items were taken away, and I still day in and day out suffered from the same things. So it helps alleviate some of the issues, but it doesn't, you know. But no, I get it. When you wonder how government officials get rich, I believe they have that site on stock market in the country. Yeah. Yeah, I need to. Hey, what stay between us on the live? George will never know, right? He won't wake up. The top four bosses in Meals on Wheels make more than a $500,000 in salary. Yes, and that's very sad for sure. And here's the thing, you know, some of these government programs are not exactly like miracles either. It's great that they have these programs. A lot of people are needing them. As a matter of fact, that Hillbilly Elgin show of it with his grandmother, or show, it's a movie, it's real life, that she had it delivered and everything. And so I don't know. There's so many strings to some of these programs when you actually get them. So many qualifications to get in and get them. And then you hear all these Americans about, oh, it's hard to do this, and you know that they're not really giving all of that. So even those programs actually have the problems. When you get to the Philippines, there's none. A lot of these programs don't even exist. They've got some, but you're not going to get assistance here as a Filipino, and you're definitely not going to get it as as an American, or as a foreigner and stuff. So I was looking up, but no, I believe a lot of them do. A lot of them that have the programs. RFK Jr. is going to have a lot of work. They screwed up the food supply so badly, it's going to take a long time to fix it. Are you just talking about in general prices or supply, like the farmers and like the eggs? What's up, guys? Comment and let me know what you guys are paying for eggs on top of that. We're paying per 30 eggs about 250 pesos. If I round it to 50, that's about $5 for 30 eggs. Now, to me, that's astronomical. But to you guys, $5 for 30 eggs might be cheap. But remember, when you have wages here, minimum wage, give or take, is supposed to be at 500 pesos. So if half your wages is to buy 30 eggs, then it would seem kind of crazy. But for American wise, I still think five is still high, but I haven't been home in 4 years, so I would go to like Aldi's, or what's is Aldi's the German one? There was another German one when I left in Florida. I can't think of the stores that were the discount stores. I go to Publix, Walmart. I believe a dozen eggs was still, you could get it under $2. So But that's only 24 eggs at $4. So yeah, but to pay 5 here in the Philippines, just like bananas. That last bunch of bananas, I paid like $5 for it. I'm like, I'm not paying $5 for bananas, over here in the Philippines, man. So it's kind of insane. Good morning. The United States does not give money for nothing. They are getting more in return. They say that's what they're doing is by giving, they're getting more in return. So you would say is the Philippines that the money is being given so they have space here and different things like, like the like George was talking about the like the military like areas where they're training and I don't know everything guys, but I get it. I don't think they're getting more in return. I think I would have to disagree on that, but I may not realize how many different I in this day and age, I miss the days where the internet did not exist. You would have to be a government official to know this, or you would have to be here to see it, and then you'd have to sit around and talk with people and like do some real news reporting. But there's so many articles and so many different things. I've mentioned that before, and you can't know it all. There's so much going on right now; it just blows my mind. Like I was still contemplating on doing that German girl and her boyfriend and her being sick and everything. And I'm like, there's more eggs to fry right now than that situation, especially. Um, but I know if the money stops and that money's being given directly for the programs here, that federal aid is really going to hurt people. It's going to hurt people here and it's going to hurt people there. Hey, Curtis, good morning. It's going to Mars. Good morning. It's negative 85 there. It's constant. Yeah. Hard to positively know the truth that tall conspiracy theorists run the U.S. The U.S. government is audited. Yes, it should be. Rod Z just found your channel yesterday. Really enjoy your content. Keep going. Thank you. You're right. Forget the vegetables. They are horrible. Prices are just ridiculous. I bought a bag of peas because if I buy them in the market, they won't last more than a day. Some of it that they do get right from a farm here. And when I get any fruits and vegetables, if I get them within a day or two, they can go bad. So I do have to freeze them anyway. So I got a bag of frozen peas. They weren't even an import, and it was like $6 for a bag of frozen peas. And I'm like, and they're not even the good peas. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're like in Mexico and here. There's something up with the peas. I don't know what type they are, but they're almost like a chickpea to me. They're not the soft ones that I was used to, like the baby peas and the softer ones in the United States. It's but the cost, and so meat is expensive. Anything healthy is expensive. And I was sitting here yesterday, and I've been eating basically healthy for about a month. Okay, I've had some in between stuff. I mean, I'm about trying to make my joints stop hurting and lose a few pounds. It's not like my main goal, but when it comes to cost, and you can forget about getting a lot of that stuff in George. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As soon as he hits the streets, he's eating that junk and he's drinking that nasty Tang that's got all those chemicals in it, and everything has chemicals. So, but the cost is on top of that is just that's one of the more expensive things here. Other than Selena Gomez crying on social media, where are all the Latino celebrities and the outrage about the deportation? They are all awful. Yeah, awful. Yeah, I mean, I get it and the sadness, but I've also heard the Latinos actually make the statements and other foreigners. These are coming from foreigners, including George. They're outraged that him and their parents and their grandparents, my grandparents, that came from Poland and other countries where they had to go through Ellis Isle and detainment and go through things or what it took for them to come here, and they came in legally. George came in legally. All of his family that went to the United States, they came in legally. And for these guys just to cross over like that, and they're being given money and all these things and court dates that are 3 and 4 years out, it's insane. It is insane, and it let a lot of bad people into the country. And so I don't know. My sympathy only goes so far as far as, and I love foreigners, man. I love me some foreigners more than I do fast food and candy, and I like candy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I like this. I like. Hey, baby, George. I like candy. I like to suck on candy. I like to suck on foreigners and candy. And so, don't get me wrong. That's what I'm trying to process how I'm going to say this. George is looking up at me. I'll be good. Um, looks like George is trying to censor from abroad. But it's bad, and now I didn't know he was going to determine just to take bad people. And you know what I would have done? Them guys on the Columbia thing. If I was Trump, I'd have said, you know what? How many parachutes you guys got inside of that plane? He was put it on him and kick him out. Kick him. I've been embarrassed by other expats' behavior while I'm on vacation. Is that like here in the Philippines? There's a lot going on. I would have to agree. Most of them, it seems like a larger percentage, but most do behave themselves. But yes, you have to be embarrassed by some of their behavior and attitude and different things going on, whether in different parts of Asia or here. I made 20,000, contracted to FEMA years ago. Sitting around got fed 3 a day too. Thanks, George. What? Yeah, by the way, guys, if you guys want to send us photos, um, send them. You can send them to us at Philippine Antics at Gmail. We answer people through there, and you can go to Philippine Antics um, on Facebook, and then we have an official page that says George Mendoza. It's no surprise what our last name is. And it'll say official page Philippine Antics, and you'll be able to see our dual photo. And that's where you can message us also. Send us these photos, guys. I mean, we will put your photo up and give you guys a shout out if you guys want to send your photos. Send photos of like if you're a couple and you guys, want to do like, hey, it's my anniversary. We'll do all this, guys. This is going to be our year to connect. This is going to be our year to try to do something different, and we're on our way. So I fast 24 hours a day and 16 hours on the weekend, and it's done wonders for my health. Now that I can agree on. Now I do okay on a daily. I don't eat for 12 hours. I do set it at a certain time, and so I'm fasting at least that amount. So from about 7 o'clock to over 7 o'clock in the morning, then I don't do anything. But the thing has been for me on the fasting situation that the uh, the hours I try to stick to the same thing, and it's hard to actually do it too because I used to eat all the time, like at nighttime. I would eat more in the evening than I did. So that I am already doing. Someone recommended that a long time. I'm not, I mean, the longest I ever fasted was 3 days, and that was just with water and then vitamins. So I have, it's, my system is really messed up. And, everybody is like individual and everything. So nobody else here is going to let me know the price of eggs or if the federal funds will affect those veterans on disability. Does anybody have an idea, like what's going on that? Last weekend bought eggs, average, regular, large. Okay, $5 a dozen. If you want cage free, it's $7 Minnesota pricing. We bought a box for $3.50 a dozen. Was that here in the Philippines? Oh, that was in the United States. Did I put you up, sweetie? I'm sorry. I'm like thinking about prices and stuff. No, it's Costco eggs. I think are $9 for 24, and cage free. Let's see. I think they're $9 for 24 brown. I like the brown eggs myself. That is for sure. All right, so let's see what is going on, guys. We still are at a certain. I think I already went through like the news articles. So, how is this going to affect the Philippines and the elderly and Social Security? There's still, here's the thing, I've seen all kinds of rumors like going around, like they're talking about, oh, they're still going to do the cuttage on Social Security. And then I've heard both sides, expats and Filipinos here, talk about, oh, they're going to take everybody's checks away. So be prepared, and fear mongering just for views. And you're going to have that now with social media. Let's see what we got going on. The talk that's going around is Trump belong to or belonging on Mount Rushmore. I agree. Oh, they're going to have him put up there. Who was the last person put up there? You know what? Here's the messed up part. My memory does not serve me well at this point, but there's so many AI photos out there, and I don't think I'm the only one that in movies where they've like put extra photos up there during the movies. I can't even tell you if it was Obama they put up there or if it was fake or not. Um, yeah, wow, $8 for 2 dozen, man. Now I do replace a lot of things. I want to let you guys know that it's not without trying. You would think at my size that I'm just sitting around really truly eating donuts and all of that and junk all day. With the gastric bypass in place, and I don't talk about this too often, George eats at least 3 times more than I do. But I get the metabolism thing. I get that he moves a little bit more than me. But like all day from morning to night, I don't stop unless I'm doing the live streams. Like I'm up cleaning, chasing pets. I go out. And so all these things keep me somewhat active. But the with the gastric bypass, I'm limited still on eating. So if I eat a Jollibee like hamburger or something, like it's small, that's it. That's all I can still eat. So, but I can eat all day and I can drink my calories. That's why that I'm using monk fruit right now. And here's the thing, monk fruit could kill your gut bacteria, which means you're still not processing right. And my food passes through me quicker, vitamin malabsorption, I'm anemic, my autoimmune issue, I have zero thyroid, even with medication, I'm suffering from multiple issues. And so many things vary for me. But healthy food really actually costs here. I mean, I don't even know how people afford some of the stuff that I've seen on Lazada, like 9, $10 for a small package of something. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not paying this and that and this and that. So I do soy. Soy is still bad for my stomach with the bypass. And I do like the soy flakes. And so the soy is kind of good with me on menopause situation. And so we don't eat a lot of red meat. Matter of fact, the Jollibee that we got was chicken. If we do, then usually it's a soy form, and we take these breaks from things. Eggs is another thing that we eat a lot of. So for the most part, I probably would say 70% of our diet stays away from high salt, carbs, any processed food. We don't have like chips and packaged foods. If we can't read the name on it and George can't say, hey, I know what that is, then I say, put it down. So it's, I have to police them and stuff on some of that stuff. But, you know, at least I know if they're doing the cocoa pandan, like that guy that has the coconut meat inside of the panda cell buns, they made that fresh. They're not adding a lot of items to it. Then I told him I don't mind, but I don't mind like having some of those, but like George, I can't control him when he hits the streets. I keep checking maps for the Gulf of Mexico renaming, right? Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. People's poop to biohack their system. What I find crazy is there are Mexicans who lived in the U.S. for over 25 years and don't speak a lick of English. I can understand that. I can. I think it kind of determines by their age and if they really need to go get jobs and all of that. But you would think they would pick up. Like, there are a couple dozen words that I know and I can comprehend more than I speak. And I really, really, really need to because George won't be here forever. I mean, I hate to say it, like he's out working or he's with family, or, there's a lot of times I deal with Filipinos, but most of them speak English, but there's some that haven't. And so I've had to use translators. Um, so I need to like. There's this girl on TikTok. She seems to be in her mid 30s. She's Russian, and she's like, I'm just gonna call her pasty. She's really pasty and blonde, and she speaks full on. I think it's actually even Visayan or something in Tagalog. And man, she sounds Filipino. I mean, like more than any Filipino I've ever heard. But I think she's officially, is she back? I know she went back to Russia for a while and her family's here, and I think they've actually all migrated here and everything. But I think she's officially back because, like, it showed her over there and everything. But I am envious, man. That's one person that I could tell you I'm super envious of, man, is her language skills. And then I'm like, I can do this, I can do this. And I probably could if I would stay focused. And for me, with, dealing with the channels and dealing with George's crap, just or just everything. It's the one thing that I just delay in. And so maybe it's at the bottom of their list, although I really, really should. I get it on that. I just can't believe how many illegals are in different countries. I never fathom, even here, guys. You realize how many illegal expats are here? There's something nobody talks about. Some will just get over here and they just hide. That's just it. They only do immigration once and they don't even look back until they get caught for something. And even then, I hate to say it, there's ways of getting past. I believe the others, that's how because here's the thing, police are just not going to approach. At one point, I got so frustrated with immigration. I'm like, this is before I filed the 13A and they kept denying my paperwork. I wasn't nasty with them. I didn't, nothing. I questioned them. They didn't like me questioning them, but I was like, they're like, no, we can't use this and we can't use that. And you're definitely going to have that. Like they tried to go buy the book on like one or two things. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you know what, George, I'm just going to keep renewing, leaving outside the country, keep renewing. And then I said, I'm just going to stop when I get old. I said, they can just come hunt me down and send me back. But I'm just really surprised myself how many, are actually just part of the game. But in the US, it's even more shocking. I traveled 80 miles there and back for Mexican made pizza. Wow. Yeah. Here's the thing, we were lucky. We were in the mountains of Mexico and we were near Puebla, and the we found a place that was so American like their chicken wings, boneless wings. They had chicken barbecue pizza. Here, if you try to get chicken barbecue pizza, some of it's not like authentic. It's Filipino pizza. They like it really super soft. I tell them to overcook it. We had to have them overcook the pizza at Landers twice. George went up there and he goes, no, it was practically raw even after we said cook it. He goes, I told him cook it again. It came back still. Not even the cheese was brown. I'm like, how long are they cooking it? Are they cooking it for like 3 minutes or not very many, Rose? Yeah. I don't think they learn some. I wouldn't even say 50% of them do. Probably 25% do, but it's not full on. Probably that's more like 1% speaks full on, and they should. They should. They're here. They should because they're the first little funky ducks that are over there when somebody Hispanic or another foreigner in America. They were the first guys in Walmart when the person's like delaying and talking English and stuff. Like, learn the language, man. Learn the language. It's like that was probably the same dude that won't learn the language here situation. So yeah. I still can't believe Boston haven't learned the language. I think that was Irish. That's another thing that's going on with me here. They have been in the States for how long, right? Um, is when you hang around with Australians and British people, and in some of the YouTube videos that I watch, or just accents from Filipinos, I have gained my own accent. It's like, wait a minute, who was I just listening to the other day? Ah. All right, guys, this is my coffee break time and my break to come in and tell you guys. Be sure to subscribe, do a thumbs up on this live stream, and to be sure to comment and let me know. Do you think that Trump's being all squirrely? Do you think it was time to clean up America? Do you think the Philippines is actually going to suffer? Like, how much suffering will be done? Is it time to kick the welfare babies off of welfare and the stamps and like break it down? They definitely need to revamp all that. Now, I'm aware that they need to go through and set more rules, and I know they're going to fight really hard with Congress and all of this, and it'll be really, really super interesting. But tell me what you guys think on that. And if you're not, again, subscribe. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and to comment during this. It keeps the algorithm going, which helps bring people in. Let's make this a bigger discussion and also help our channel grow. Consider membership for Philippine Antics. Okay, there's over 50 or 60 videos, and we put community posts in there, and we communicate, with you guys. A lot going on. Plus, it supports the channel. It shows you guys, you know, it shows you guys to show us guys that you care. And we can say for George's funeral, say for George's funeral funds. Hey George, no funeral funds for you today. Or don't be a part of it. I mean, I'm gonna use reverse psychology on you fools. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why don't you guys go over and you guys let me think of somebody. I'll just send you guys back over to see the Filipino P where your money goes, further over there. Filipino women all sound the same. Their accents or their actions, or I don't know. The one thing I guess I just really wasn't prepared for and thinking about things is that I've seen the other Asian countries, and until I actually arrived in the Philippines, I just thought of it as an Asian country. I guess it is. I know this is weird. I say the stupidest stuff sometimes. But when I got here after living 6 months in Mexico and like hardcore, nothing but like Hispanic women and certain looks, when I got here, George was so offended. I was like, "You guys are the Mexicans of Asia." And George, like, you do. You look just like the Mexican guys over there. And I said, I said, the women have the round faces for the most part. I said, you guys are, and I didn't know anything about the history. I guess I should have read up before I actually came over. I had, all that time. And I was like, oh, George told me the story. And I said, well, that makes sense. The Spain and the like all the last names and everything, Hispanic and the Hispanic culture and the ties. But then we had ties with, the US, but it goes way back to that. And I'm like, you guys, excuse me, you guys really do. And I said, you guys, have so I can hear the Spanish accent. I'm picking up what seems to be a Hispanic um, wording. And so it just kind of ties in for me. And then when I see the other Asian women, it's like I still only still see it's not a bad thing. It's just that it's just a total tie-in, and so it's just like, but George got like super offended. He was like, I'm like, but you guys are, because you can't say that we're Mexicans, and it goes, it's Hispanic, and I said, you guys are Mexican. I said, but it could just be. Timothy, good night. If I missed you already, thank you for joining us. Yeah, but it's true. I hope for the best with Trump. Seems good so far. The only one thing that is drilling seems like we are cashing in early. Oh, in other words, he's doing everything like he's doing everything right now, possibly. Well, here's the thing. If he really does revamp and start taking away these programs, I mean, how are you going to feel? Because a lot of people are working class in the United States. Not everybody is rich in all families or has the investments and all that. A lot of families rely on multiple programs. So my curiousness is like, how that's going to affect people's thinking that did vote him in, to have all this happen. But then again, there was no surprises. He's been talking, like he would say, it was kind of there. I myself, okay, even though I'm on Social Security disability and I've used some of those programs over the years, okay, then, I'm trying to put myself as of yesterday. I was like thinking, I was like, how would I have gotten around that? It just means that you'd had to try harder, because when you come here for retirement in the Philippines, it's easy, but then you have to try harder on different things. So, the retirement here is going to kind of change and vary. So things are just going to get harder for people. They just got to find ways around it. And so, yeah, their accents, yeah. Meaning if we buy the world oil, then sell ours when it's the only oil left, the prices will go to the moon. Yeah. The Mexican Spanish colonial thing doesn't explain how Filipinos look Mexican, because they have very little Spanish ancestry and DNA. I don't know. They sure do, though, don't they? Is it just because they're island? I mean, isn't all most of Asia just smaller islands? I mean, for the most part. I mean, I know China's big, but I'm talking about, like, I don't know. They do to me. I'll tell you right now, after spending, to me, it's like all I did was just move. There's a lot of, to me, they look Hispanic. They don't look Asian, not as much as the other countries. So it could just be me. And that's weird, because like George fits into all spots, because we've done like photos of, I don't think I have the intro, like where we like put up like Korean person got caught by immigration, and we put George's photo up. And the same with when he's at Chinese restaurants. It's hilarious. And the same with Spanish. Like when he was there, yes, his eyes look a little different. He looks different. I think they just thought he was indigenous or something, but he speaks Spanish. So that's just it. He was the one. I didn't even think about communication when we headed to Mexico. I was like, oh, I got me a pocket translator. This is what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. So, and I use that, but if it wasn't for George, I wouldn't have known like what to do. I don't hate Trump at all, but never will understand him. His politics is revenge, as he has a Fox News guy, has his defense minister and his regal are allies. He messes with my energy life. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. And they did announce, like in the press room, that they're going to start letting social media people into the presses, and they can apply if they're doing this or doing that. And I'm kind of agreeing with the new like age of social media. They should and everything, but I also understand that they got a bunch of people in their pockets, so that's really going to be something different. Yeah, I think that doomsday clock is even closer. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's in our lifetime. George says no, it'll be like we have grandkids that are only 1 and 10. Okay, and he's like, it might be in their middle age or further down. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think things that even Trump is doing right now could set the clock. So like to zero. I'm I think that they're going to mess with the wrong person that knows how to. There are some really smart people out there, and there's enough money and brain power and all that to shut this whole world down. And so I can foresee like some of those movies becoming true. What do they call that? Is it emitters that can just like that the military uses? It shuts down all internet and all these things. Can't somebody build them even bigger, or is that what the doomsday thing does? But it's coming, guys. People are going to make the wrong people mad, and they're not going to be mentally stable. And so, who is mentally stable these days? I always thought Filipinos look more like Native Americans. If you would go now, we were living in the mountain of Mexico. We came down through Texas. We went took 3 days. Like so, we went up through Florida and went across a couple states and dropped down through Texas. And we went through some really nasty areas too. And I didn't realize how big Mexico is. I guess I should have looked at a map or paid attention inch per mile or whatever. And my whole idea was to go to drop to the bottom, Morocco, or something, and we were going to go all the way down there. And no, we were a second day in, and I'm like, I'm not driving anymore. We were done. And so in the mountains, it's called Chignahuapan or Chignahuapan. I don't know how you guys want to pronounce it. There was a lot of indigenous people, so they did have more rounder faces, and then of course on the other hand for the I mean in Florida they have a bunch of Hispanic people and Mexicans that were working on the farms that I was able to see and everything. So the I don't know. I think they do, and the reason I would know about that is my first husband was Native American Indian and Filipino, so the children definitely they look like Filipinos in my opinion. My son looks a little Italian, but so they have that indigenous look with really light skin. So they got like all the great features, and they got the high cheekbones and everything else. So. uh, I agree. Many look Hispanic, but darker. But some others look Asian. Yeah, there are some, but these are mixed. Understand? There's a lot of, um, there's a lot of other foreign, like Asians, that like Mexican and everything that mix in. Let's see what the dog is having a fit about. There's the yeah. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll take this last one in. Okay, that was weird. The keys dropped on the floor. Many of Trump's actions so far seem to be inflationary tariffs, incentives for countries to do open business in the U.S. and get rid of migrant workers and cheap labor, which, yeah, that's going to cause an issue in itself, guys. I'm just wondering, that cheap labor goes, who's going to do all that work and then who's going to pay the prices? Everybody else is. All right, guys, I'm going to cut this live right now. Um, Looks like it is not a popular topic. I didn't expect it to. I wasn't going to go in and start talking about that other channel today, but it was something that needed to be talked about. Not people's favorite, for sure. I mean, it shows in the numbers today of people joining, and I get it. It's something we usually don't go into, but it's just where I felt like it needed to be today. That is for sure. Uh, So we will wrap this up early. I might just do a random live later. There's so many different things going on. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Victor. Thank you to all the members. Yeah, there's a lot of people missing today. I know there's a flu and cold thing going around because I don't see a bunch of our regulars in here today. Maybe they just didn't want to come in and talk about the politics. I doubt it. They were just probably busy. But guys, we appreciate you coming in and see you guys next time. Be sure to do a thumbs up on this. And you guys have a great day. Talk to you guys later. Bye.